Hey there, Dale.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing what? Honestly, I'd be doing better. We're back in spring. Got my hives breaking out. I got my allergies killing me. It's 80. It's 80 degrees today.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Me,
uh,
me and Zyrtec, we're buddies. So
yeah. Well, yeah, my allergist loves me. Anyways, let's get into better things to talk about, like the market update, because we're kind of hitting a stagnation point, Dale. Um,
yeah,
I, we've talked about mortgage-backed securities a lot. The big thing I want to note here is just the thickness, the size of every single one of these Japanese candlesticks. And you'll see that in the past few weeks, we have really shrunk this down. There's not a lot of movement to the up or the down in the
right.
past few weeks. And this just basically means that we're waiting for the economic changes to steer this ship either up or down. Up would be great on mortgage-backed securities,
Right,
but
right.
that's really what we're looking for, because tariffs, they're starting to come into play, but April 2nd is when the majority of them are going to come in. We also see recession and job losses looming on the horizon, both of which are going to be really good. So you have these two conflicting big economic items, and that's why we're just in a holding pattern. That's the best way to describe it. So for the next couple of months, at least in the near-ish short term, we really do expect this to be our interest rate market.
Yeah, and you know what? It's under 7. So
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, so
you
okay.
know,
So
we all
where are
wish
we
it
at?
was lower, but the stability is kind of nice. So
True. True. Okay, so we're under 7. I jumped. Where exactly are we at with a 30-year and a 15-year?
well, right now the average again, 20% down, all credit scores, etc., etc. We're at about 6.67. And that's it's gone up a little bit this week. We know this is last week's numbers. It has gone up just a taste, as we can see by the chart, but we're still in decent ground with decent rates. I mean, obviously we'd all love to have 2.99, but that's just not where it's at right now.
Yeah, that's true. But and this is kind of where I want to head a little bit today. This market is going to be our normal market, but Dale, there is over $2 trillion in consumer debt. This is the highest level that America has ever seen, and the per capita debt that each person has is growing and growing and growing. And
Right.
one of the traditional things is that every few years, the interest rate market goes to a point where people can refinance and cash out some money
Mhm.
to pay off and consolidate some debt.
Right.
Um, I do know that a vast majority of homeowners did their once in a lifetime refinance just a few years ago. So, what do they got left? What can they do?
Right. Now what do we do?
Exactly.
Well, there's really three options. And because I'm old school, let's talk about the very far right option on this are the HELOCs.
Hmm.
That's what was available for years and years and years. It was a credit line. You could take it all, you could take a little, you could pay back. There was a draw period. The draw period was interest only. And if you paid only the interest, that was awesome. Except when the draw period was over, you still owed the entire principal.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a bad option, but didn't work for a lot of people because a lot of people got caught with, oh crud, I still owe 50,000 and it's all due in a year. What am I going to do?
Yep.
Another refi. However, as you'll explain, we have some better options these days.
Yeah. And let's just jump over to the middle. We got HELOC with a fixed interest rate. This is really a fantastic product because it takes away the variability of this. A regular HELOC, they feature right now the highest initial rates, typically speaking. A HELOC with a fixed interest rate, they do get rid of that variability, but in consequence, they're going to lower that rate a little bit. This does give you the ability to have a draw period as well. So let's just use a 3-year draw for an example. I have a $100,000 equity line, but I only drew about 30,000 at the beginning, and now I've decided, you know what, I really got to redo that kitchen. Or we just had our car break down, we have a massive repair bill, or whatever scenario you can think of. I have a 3-year period from the day that the loan originates until the day I can no longer draw, and in that period, I have the flexibility to pull out money from the equity line that I opened up on my house. So the HELOC gives you the benefit of the HELOC fixed, gives you the benefit of the traditional HELOC with the draws, but it gives you the safety and the reliability of a fixed interest rate. But a HE loan is exactly the same as the HELOC with a fixed interest rate. The difference is it removes your draw ability. So it's a one-time lump sum right at the very beginning, and then it goes into a fixed interest rate. You can think of it as a personal loan that is very specifically tied to your house as collateral. Now, you might think right away, well, why don't I just get a personal loan? And it has to do with the fact that it's collateral. Personal loan, you can have a 780 credit score, you're going to be touching 9%, 10% maybe. Easily. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's literally based on your ability to repay and the hopes and dreams that the lender will get their money back.
Right.
In this particular case,
why don't I tap my credit card for $10,000? It's only 24% interest.
Don't do it. That's what we're trying to avoid. $2 trillion of consumer debt. Don't do it. Right. But the HE loan is a very, very good alternative. And right now, this newer product, it's been around for a little bit, they do feature the lowest initial interest rate in a fixed rate format. So Dale, can you kind of walk us through how this can actually be a benefit for the people that have that low rate?
So here is really, we're just going to go back in time, 3, 4, 5 years. You borrowed $400,000 at a 2.99 rate, okay? And let's just say you've been paying on it for a couple years. Your current balance is $350, and now you need $100,000 for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. If you were to refinance to pull $100,000 out, forget fees and all that, you owe $350, you need $100, so now we do a new loan of $450 at today's rates. Your payment's $2,900 plus a month. Okay. Yeah. However, if we did a HE loan of $100,000, so you get your $100,000, your $299 rate stays in place.
Yep.
$1,686 a month. The new payment on the $100,000 is a little over $800, and you get the same result, $100,000 in your pocket, and you save about $500 a month.
Yeah.
It's by far a better deal. And if you think about it, assuming that you have not been paying on your 30-year loan for more than 20 years, you'll pay off your second before you'll pay off your first. You'll get a big bump down once that second is paid off. And in the future, should rates get low, we could do it again. So it's really probably the best way to get a big chunk of money given today's environment.
Yes. A qualification's a little bit easier too, because you're going to be only refinancing a tiny portion of your house. And I can't stress enough, one of the main benefits is what you said there, Dale. Look, I have been in my house for 20 years. I did my refinance in COVID. Maybe I did a 15-year. Maybe I did a 30-year. Whatever the scenario is. Now I've paid it down. I don't want to reset the clock back to 30. And I certainly don't want to take a 7% or higher interest rate. I was a little bit generous with this cash out refinance interest rate. Sometimes you might be higher. Sometimes you might be lower. But the point being here, I want to do everything I can to avoid it. I've paid down the debt. The amortization's in my favor now. Well, you can not only do a HE loan to leave that first out of the picture, but you can also do a 20-year HE loan, which features some of the most amazing interest rates I have seen on any type of second product that you can get on a house. So I think this is a really good option for people that are starting to feel the pinch of this economy. And the truth is that consumer debt is at an all-time high, and there really isn't a way out of it. This could be the option.
There's also 20-year, 10-year, 15-year, 30-year. Rates are different for each of those, but there are lots of options to get you the cash you need to pay off some of that high credit card debt with a reasonable payment and not touch your first mortgage that is a smoking 299 or whatever that rate is.
Yep. So, all right, Dale, thank you so much. As always, I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
All right, take care.
Bye now.